Listen, ain't nobody ask, did nobody check in for no steroid. I said, I said, I said, I said, I said, he had quick and he hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then,
you think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroid. What we don't talk about is, we Canelo. Steroid.
One way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol.
Boxing legend Evander Holyfield has publicly thrown down the gauntlet, accusing Canelo Alvarez of potential steroid use. With tensions mounting ahead of the Canelo versus Terence Crawford matchup, Holyfield's bold remarks have ignited a firestorm of controversy and speculation throughout the boxing community.
Greatest Mexican boxing fight of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which included him. He never got on
You think he's on
steroids? Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya call him out.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
All those people using that camp.
Yeah.
While Holyfield has not directly accused Canelo of steroid use, he has been outspoken about the need for stricter penalties for fighters who test positive for banned substances. In 2018, following Canelo's positive test for clenbuterol, Holyfield suggested that athletes caught using PEDs should face jail time, stating that such individuals should be incarcerated for 30 days.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May. He's blending Mexican cow. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight. And he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight's standard operating procedure. This time, popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally to cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. The problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico with some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States and some places in the United States will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because the training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and it surprises me and bothers me because it never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has openly criticized the boxing community for what he perceives as a double standard regarding steroid use, particularly in the case of Canelo Alvarez. He contends that while some fighters face intense scrutiny, others, like Canelo, receive leniency due to their marketability and status. Mayweather argues that this disparity undermines the sport's integrity, allows certain individuals to evade accountability, and stresses that PED use not only constitutes cheating but also poses significant health risks, thereby threatening the sport's credibility.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. I don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven? No, been proven.
It's been proven. This been proven.
Oh, Canelo. Oh, shit.
This been proven. And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you eating steroid cows. Man, these boys killed me.
Recently, David Benavidez publicly accused Canelo Alvarez and his entire team of using steroids, questioning why Canelo would avoid a fight with him if he were truly confident, especially given the number of positive steroid tests within Canelo's camp. Benavidez's remarks have intensified their ongoing rivalry, as he suggested that Canelo's team is dirty due to multiple failed steroid tests.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off steroids. Everybody else that he's fought Amir Khan, fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought what the f- is his name? Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off Clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looks so good because he's off Clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed.
He's guaranteed. He said that he ate meat that was painted in Mexico. I've talked to people. They said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat the whole.
Eddie Reynoso's gym has faced intense scrutiny due to multiple doping allegations involving fighters under his guidance. Notably, Canelo Alvarez, who trains with Reynoso, has been implicated in past steroid controversies. Critics point to several fighters from Reynoso's camp who have tested positive for banned substances, raising questions about the training environment and oversight. As Canelo prepares for his bout with Terence Crawford, observers are closely monitoring his rapid physical transformation.
Expressed serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for Clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Couture, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for Clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Yeah, closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not going to get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Many boxing analysts have noted that gaining substantial muscle mass naturally in one's 30s is particularly challenging. However, Canelo Alvarez's recent physical transformation, appearing significantly larger than in previous years, has raised questions about the authenticity of his muscle gains. This scrutiny is intensified by the history of doping allegations surrounding Eddie Reynoso's gym, with multiple fighters from his camp testing positive for banned substances, casting doubt on the training environment and practices.
As if I'm juicing. If for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows. Men's body can grow in height and length up until you're to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan discussed Canelo Alvarez's past failed test for Clenbuterol and the ongoing debates about his physique and performance, emphasizing the importance of transparency and the need for athletes to uphold the integrity of the sport. The conversation added fuel to the fire of speculation as Alvarez prepares for his fight against Terence Crawford. Many boxing fans have expressed little surprise over the recent doping allegations, with some viewing them as consistent with Canelo's history of performance-enhancing substance use, including his previous suspension for testing positive for Clenbuterol.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MGTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak. He's going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it. He's pretty much a billionaire. He has access to everything.
Holyfield has expressed deep admiration for Terence Crawford's exceptional boxing abilities, particularly his remarkable power and versatile fighting style. He highlighted Crawford's skill in seamlessly switching between orthodox and southpaw stances, making his movements unpredictable and difficult for opponents to anticipate. Holyfield emphasized that this adaptability forces adversaries to constantly adjust their strategies, likening it to life's necessity for continual adaptation. His praise underscores Crawford's unique style, sharp reflexes, and the qualities that make him a formidable and well-prepared challenger.
Going left-handed or right-handed, how do you deal with someone like that?
Well, I don't know if nobody switch up on me a lot. So it's hard for me to say, but I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always going to be the difference between how far you go.
And this is the last one, I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You were a smaller guy, and you almost beat. A lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does a small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson Fury?
Terence Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian Bomack McIntyre, has expressed unwavering confidence in their strategy, emphasizing that their preparation has been meticulous and has left no stone unturned. While acknowledging Canelo's formidable skills, McIntyre believes that Crawford's adaptability and tactical approach will be key to overcoming the challenges posed by a naturally larger opponent.
Confident he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team, so the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is, obviously it's a hard career boxing, you don't get given anything.
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of his wealth, get the fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy for him.
Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, has provided valuable insights into Terence Crawford's preparation for his upcoming bout against Canelo Alvarez. Walsh emphasized that Crawford is not approaching the challenge of facing a larger and more powerful opponent without careful planning, noting that he has been sparring with significantly bigger fighters to acclimate to the type of pressure and strength Canelo brings into the ring. This strategic approach reflects Crawford's commitment to adapting his skills and conditioning to effectively compete at the super middleweight level, and Walsh's observations underscore the meticulous preparation Crawford is undertaking to ensure he is fully equipped for the challenges posed by Canelo's formidable presence.